As you may know, 19-year-old Dzhokhar Tsarnaev pleaded not guilty yesterday to 30 federal charges, including murder. Tsarnaev and his brother killed 3, wounded 260 others by setting off bombs at the Boston Marathon finish line. Dzhokhar also killed a police officer while attempting to flee. You remember an 8-year-old boy was killed by the act of terror, and there were many amputees. Nevertheless, this slimy terrorist says he didn't do it, and there are disturbed people supporting him.
Today, I would love to see him plead not guilty and force the prosecution to prove their case, because there's so much information out there that proves that they did not do this.
He has a right to live his life. Let him live his life. He's only 19 years old.
We're here to show Dzhokhar some support, let him know he does have people out there that believe in him and that he didn't do this, and to talk to people if they're willing to listen, tell them why we think he's innocent, and our facts and evidence and the lack of facts and evidence, to see if maybe we can wake a couple people up and make them realize that this is not true.
Hard to believe. The trial of Tsarnaev is expected to last months and cost the taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. But why should it last that long? The evidence against this thug is overwhelming. There are multiple eyewitnesses. And what's his defense? That he wasn't there? There are pictures showing him there. Talking Points is angry about this. This is going to be a circus trial. Well, this guy's going to play to the cameras, right? He pled not guilty. Everybody knows he's guilty.
Well, but everybody doesn't know that he's guilty, because under our system of justice, you're not guilty until the government proves you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, right?
Do you know one human being on this earth, Rachel, that doesn't think he's guilty? One? Because I'd like their name, and I'll put them on the program tomorrow. Give me one name. And I did put him on the program, the idiots that was standing outside the courtroom. Now, the next court date for Tsarnaev set for September 23rd. And that's a memo. Now for the reaction. Joining us from Boston, Peter Brown, whose 2 nephews were injured in the bombing attack, and Leanne Yanni, who along with her husband sustained injuries in the bombing. Both our guests were in the courtroom yesterday. Ms. Yanni, we begin with you. What did you think of Tsarnaev's demeanor in the courtroom?
It was kind of disgusting, actually, just to see him kind of just slump in and just have no look of remorse on his face, and just when he sat down, just the glimpses of a smirk on his face to his family was disgusting.
How bad were your injuries?
I had a open fibular fracture, and the lower part of that bone is shattered. I had a couple muscles removed out of my leg and a skin graft placed over it. So I had 3 surgeries in 5 days. And
those wounds will last you a lifetime, correct?
Absolutely. I have to look at them every day, and that's probably one of the hardest parts, is just seeing how my life is never going to be the same.
When you saw this man, and you believe he's guilty, I'm sure, correct?
Absolutely.
What was the emotion when you saw him?
I really had no idea how my emotion would be initially before I got into the courthouse, but as soon as we walked in, I just had this sinking feeling in my stomach, and you know, that urge to want to run up and attack. But
no, it's natural. That's a natural thing. Mr. Brown, your 2 nephews lost limbs. They're both obviously damaged for life. When you saw this terrorist in the courtroom, what went through your mind?
Well, when I first seen him come out, he had somewhat of a smirk on his face. Actually, it was an absolute smirk. And I was a little surprised, because I was looking to see if there was any thought of remorse, but he never seemed to show it. And all I could think of when I watched him walk from the court door, you know, the side in his shackles, what a small, little, frail little kid, and that he created such devastation. And here he is today, you know, talking about not guilty and pleading on the media. And all I keep seeing the things about how this frail little 19-year-old hadn't done anything.
Now, you believe he's guilty. No doubt in your mind about that?
Well, I think that absolutely he committed the crimes that he's charged with. But I also recognize that he has the chance to a free, you know, a fair trial.
I mean, we all recognize his constitutional right, but we don't want to turn it into a circus, and it is a circus because you heard the people outside. Mr. Brown, what did you think about those people?
I thought they were absolutely pathetic. Not only did I hear them outside, I heard them inside the courtroom, which they had to be reminded that their actions weren't going to be tolerated in terms of any hooligan type of behavior. And while we were sitting in the courtroom, there was some sort of situation that occurred we weren't privy to see, but you can clearly know by the raising of the voice that something was going on, and I believe it was those supporters that showed up in his favor.
You know, Ms. Yanni, there are thousands, and I mean that literally, thousands of young girls across the country who are sympathetic to this terrorist. Being a woman yourself, do you understand that at all?
I can't understand it because I have to look at my injuries every single day. I think if all of the supporters that were there had to see what transpired those days and or that day and live with the scars or the wounds or the
but they should be able to project out in your suffering. And the 8-year-old boy who's dead and the Mr. Brown's nephews who lost limbs. I mean, why are these idiots incapable of doing that in front of the courtroom?
I don't think they understand, because I don't believe any of them were there. How can you be there and not have any sympathy for any of the 200
they
plus victims?
They saw it on TV. They saw the reports. They hate their country so much that anything their country's involved with, they're going to oppose. That's the bottom line here. Well, look, we wish you both the best. You're both going to be in the courtroom. We might call upon you down the line from time to time.
Absolutely.
Certainly you call us if you need anything or you have any observations. We really want to hear them. So, Ms. Yanni and Mr. Brown, thanks very much.